Welcome to Dogs by Andrew. This is going to be our first broadcast, our first Hangout broadcast, and today we have a guest from PupPee Station, Mary Bell, and I found you while researching crowdfunding pet projects. And welcome to the show, and tell us a little bit about you and how you got started, and what you have. You have kind of an innovative product that will help a lot of people who are having housebreaking problems.
Well, first, thank you so much, Andrew, for having me. I'm a big fan, great follower of yours. We started the project. Basically, it started quite a few years back. My fiance and I were getting ready to get a puppy, and we lived in a house at the time where the bedroom was upstairs. And though it may not be a great dog training rule, we did want to have our dog sleep with us at night. So my first question was, how were we going to get him, if he needed to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, how on earth were we going to get him down the stairs, through the house, out the patio door into the grass before he went to the bathroom all the way down? So that's when we started with the idea. I thought about it, and I thought, okay, this could be something that would really work. So we started that night working on it, and have been working on it for a while now. And we wanted to bring it to the market, so we thought that crowdfunding really offers a great way to do that.
And it looks like a foldable potty target, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a folding unit, which comes from my end because I'm very, I think things out very thoroughly before, and I look for all the pros and cons. So the idea was, we created a folding station where you can, say you're not home during the day or whatever, it's somewhere that your dog can go to the bathroom in the house, and it's not going to be messy for him or what have you. But it's also something that you don't have to look at all the time, because while there are some units out there that have the same kind of idea, ours is the only one that actually folds closed and can be locked shut and tucked away or put into a closet or something like that. So it's not something that's going to be, sitting in your living room every day if you don't need it or want it to be.
And you're using artificial turf, right?
Right now we're using artificial turf, but it can also be used with sod, wood chips, paper shavings. Like, actually, for people who have bunny rabbits, I have talked to a couple people that have had rabbits, and they said it would be really good for them, because you can definitely, I've always heard you can train rabbits as well.
Yeah, I think, and the paper would be good with the rabbits, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that the artificial turf or the sod would be good for dogs. What I found is that when you have bark or paper, that a lot of dogs will eat it or chew it out.
Absolutely, my dog included. He would just have a field day chewing on chunks of wood all day long.
And you have a hound dog, right?
Yes, we have a basset hound. So
not very tall, but pretty big.
Yes, he's a cool 59 pounds, but it's actually, the unit is right now the size that we've chosen works for up to about a 59-pound dog, because he's using it.
So it's big enough that the dog can go a couple times on there.
Absolutely. The interesting design that we chose for the underneath the grass, it's a pitched base, and so what'll happen is, as the dog urinates, it'll drain through the grass, and the way the floor is made, it'll be drained into a central area, which contains an absorbent pack. It's kind of like a tea bag, so we're calling it the pee bag. And it absorbs 300 to 500 times its weight in fluid. So it's going to absorb a lot of urine. So you won't have any issues with, the drain pans or things like that. It's simply a matter of changing it as you would a tea bag. You take it out, toss it away, put a new one in, and it's ready to go. But of course, solid waste still has to be scooped, because I mentioned to someone the other day that you really can't get that technologically advanced with the actual dog poop. There's just nothing you can do with that.
Yeah, I really think that having the turf or the sod's even better. But is better than teaching them to go on pads.
So in your opinion, it's better to stick with something more natural? Like, I mean, will they have any issue transitioning between using the unit with sod in the house and using the grass outside? Will they be able to, will they understand that they can use either area?
It that will help greatly if you teach them to go on sod, I think, and then transition them to outside. Well, I don't like having them go inside at all, but if you have to.
If you have to, yeah.
And the thing is you want to teach them to that tactile cue of stepping on that type of surface as
Okay.
opposed to a pad. And it's a totally different target, is well defined, and that's probably one of the most important things. So the pad, if it's just laying on the ground, it could be a pad, it could be a throw rug, it could be paper somebody left on the floor.
Right.
And I see that all the time. Puppies that were trained to go on a pad, and then when they grow up, their favorite place is the throw rug in the bathroom. It's just so common.
That makes so much sense. I've had that problem. Now I understand.
So I'm always trying to get people to use a specific target, something that's well defined, especially if the dog's going inside. But I do it outside as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're really not looking to eliminate the idea of walking your dog. I'm sure, and I know from experience that that's essential to a healthy, happy dog. This was part of the problem or inspiration for the design as well. Was previous to our Basset Hound, we had a Great Dane, and I basically spent every day at lunchtime at work driving home and taking him out to go to the bathroom and then driving back to work. So I didn't have a lunch break for years. So it's, you know, if you have to be at work all day and you commute or what have you, I believe that it will help make that a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the Great Dane, he better have good aim.
He would have, I'm sure.
And you have a little fire hydrant, a scent post, that goes along with it, so male dogs can target something if they just have to lift their leg.
Right.
I think that's a lot of times I will make a box, but I just never put that scent post in there.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that, you know, it's just don't. But another thing that I thought was kind of cool is you can close it off, you know, 4 sides, so you can actually make it into a little potty pin and put the dog in there.
Our idea for that came from the idea of, again, when you just bring the puppy home, having the ability to train him on it right away. And again, like you said, if using sod, with the 4 walls and completely closing it, I understand from you actually, and that we could, you know, you can place the puppy in the area, give him a few minutes while you watch, and see if you can, you know, once he starts learning that he can go to the bathroom in there, then it becomes much easier. Then you can remove a wall and he'll still know where to go.
Yeah, and especially if you're teaching a dog that has some inhibition about going in front of people. It's helpful to put them in there and step back a little bit and watch, and as soon as they finish, good dog. Hey, what a wonderful puppy.
I had no idea dogs got stage fright.
They do.
That's wonderful.
When I was overseas, I used to go to Taiwan every year for a month or so and watch the wild dogs and the feral dogs there. And you'll see dogs, they will not go to the bathroom where they feel threatened.
Oh my.
They just don't. And they're in a really vulnerable position when they're squatting there. So they really look for a safe place.
Oh my gosh. I had no idea. Yeah, and you know, we're hoping that breeders can catch on to the idea, and you know, that way perhaps when they go to a breeder and buy a puppy, they can receive a puppy that's already trained, which I think for most people would be a huge plus.
Yeah, or at least started. So from my understanding, dogs develop some type of preference for where they go between around 7 and 10 weeks, someplace in there, as far as the tactile cues and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a good thing for a breeder or new puppy owner if they're going to use that sort of system.
Right, if they have to, yeah, if they need to.
The other thing that I thought was kind of cool is you have a tent that goes over it.
The tent was kind of a perk. It's more, maybe it was more of a female idea, I don't know, but I couldn't resist. I mean, I really thought I really used the unit in my head before while I was designing it, and I tried to catch every aspect that might be a consideration for someone. And I know that some, like if you're going to be using it, say you live in a townhouse or a condo and you're going to have it out on the balcony, if it's raining outside, you know, it kind of does make a difference if the pup can run out the door, because a lot of times they won't like to necessarily go if it's raining. So this way, maybe if it's, you know, sheltered and they can see that they can go out, do their business, and they're not going to get soaking wet, maybe that will help them, you know, feel a little more comfortable with the situation.
And a lot of small dogs don't like going out in the rain.
Right. Even the big, I've had big dogs that don't like.
Well, I have too, but I have a lot more housebreaking problems with small dogs. And when it's raining, they will wait days.
Oh my gosh.
Just go out there and stand with them. So when I have a dog like that, I don't go anywhere if it's staying with me for training. I'm just stuck here with the dog till it goes potty. Because I don't want it to go inside. And I'm watching it so it doesn't have a chance to do that. I take it out, it won't go. I bring it back. And like 2 or 3 days it goes. And so it's kind of a little bit of a chore. But I think that the tent would help. I've gone out with an umbrella.
Right? I thought, you know, at least it gives them some sense that they're not going to get soaking wet. Maybe it'll take away some of the apprehension of going out if they know they're just going to scoot out and they're not going to be standing in it.
And if you can keep it dry, the turf or sod somewhat dry instead of having it soaking wet.
Right. Yeah, definitely a benefit with that. And I thought, of course, that the tent looked very stylish, so I couldn't resist.
And then the last thing I think that you mentioned was that it is set up so that it won't slide on decks such as boats.
Oh yes, that idea came about halfway through the design work. We thought, we're both actually, my fiance and I are both big fans of boating, and that was one of the huge kind of epiphany moments when we said, wow, we have to make sure that we can use it on a boat, because I know there's a lot of dog owners who either live aboard their boat or, you know, have a boat and would love to go out for a weekend or a week and maybe not have to put their dog in the kennel and take them with them. So we made sure that we chose a fabric to cover it that is a non-sliding high-grade material. So the whole unit itself really is marine grade, and that was real important for us because we thought, you know, hopefully someday when we can get on a boat, we're going to take the dog and we'll have a good place for him to go to the bathroom. So. I
think that's a great idea. I've worked with quite a few dogs, either teaching them to be on the boat because they didn't like being on the boat or getting on the boat, or also building boxes for dogs to potty on the boat.
Right.
So, you know, this would be a lot easier. Most of my clients would rather buy something than build something. In fact, they usually just say, well, give us some type of plans and we'll have somebody build it.
Well, the other great part for boaters is because it folds closed, and if you know, when people see the video of the product, they can see that we made it so that it can be stowed away. Because maybe you don't take the dog all the time boating, or maybe you don't need to have it out all the time. So we made it, that was one of the big reasons for the folding design, was so it could be stowed away and not take away room from the boat itself.
Have you had many people use this? Have you had many prototypes out there testing it?
We have our prototype, and we've been testing it a lot. We've got a lot of great response. The dogs, it takes them maybe a minute of sniffing around, and, you know, they kind of, okay, and then they realize that it's safe. You know, they kind of look at their owner, and then they look at the unit, and then they look at their owner, like, is it okay if I go to the bathroom here? So it seems to do really well. Our dog took to it right away, so that was a good sign.
How big is it?
Right now, in the prototype form, it's 3 by 5.
Okay.
Once we get it into the actual CAD design, it may come down just a hair, but I would say it's probably going to stay near to that size.
Okay. Yeah, I have a friend right now who could use something like that, just about 3 feet wide.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's right there right now, and I'm sure it'll stay pretty close, but it may be a hair under.
Cool. any other things that you want to talk about it, about the PupPee station, or PupPee station, not puppy?
Well, it depends on how you say it. We kind of went both
Yeah,
ways
I
with
know.
that.
I thought that was a great name, PupPee.
We've actually had to give people some hints on what we were trying to do, because they'll say it, and then after a while they're like, "Oh, puppy station, puppy
Yeah,
station." So
I thought it was great when I first saw it. I thought that's a great puppy. I thought that would be a great thing to use in something. I was
uh,
thinking of in some article.
yeah, we really like the play. Actually, I have to give complete credit. My fiance is the one who came up with the name, so he gets full credit for deciding that that was a great name, and it really works out. It really describes it well.
Hmm.
Hopefully it's a name that people will remember.
So your dog, how old was he when you got him?
He was, I, 3 months, 4 months.
Okay, so he was a
What's
little
the,
bit older.
yeah,
And did you get him from a breeder or where?
yes, we got him
Okay.
from a breeder.
And where was he living while he was at the breeders?
She had him, well, she was working because as I'm sure you know, Bassets are very particularly difficult to train.
They can
Um,
be.
and ours is definitely no exception. So she was working both in and outdoors with them.
Hmm.
So when we got him, and unfortunately when we got him, we hadn't gotten the prototype finished. Oh, well, actually, I don't think we had the prototype ready at that time for him.
Hmm.
So we didn't get a chance until much later for him to use it, and he's about 6 now. So he took to it really well, though. For his age, he did a good job taking to it.
Good. Good. And you said you have had other dogs use it. Are they adult dogs or are they puppies or?
Actually, both. We've taken it out in public and
Hmm.
set it up near a place where there's a lot of dog traffic.
Hmm.
So we've had large dogs, small dogs, young dogs, old dogs. We've pretty much had them all try it out. So we haven't seen any. There is an occasional one that's just a little too skittish to
Hmm.
try something new. So, we understand that, some dogs are just, they may need a little more help than others.
That's the dog with
But,
stage fright.
that could very well be it. That could be it. Very
A
much
lot
could
of
be it.
dogs just don't want to go in public. Or there are dogs that you take them out, they won't go on their walk. They'll wait till they come home.
Uh, it probably didn't help that I was standing there with a camera.
Yeah, and then that's the big eye. The big eye, a lot of dogs don't like.
Yeah, it could have definitely had a part.
That's the other thing. When I was in Taiwan, I'd go to take photographs, and last time I was there, it's the worst. That was the time I had the worst problems. But usually dogs would run off. They'd see the camera. It's like this
Hmm.
giant eye staring at them, and they would run off. Last time, a lot of them actually were a little aggressive.
Oh my.
Would need to back them down a little bit. Usually that's why I usually have a hat on. People that see me, that know me, will recognize me on this video because they go, "Oh, we don't recognize you without your hat."
Without your black hat.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, I'm sorry, kind of off topic, but were you in Thailand studying dogs, or is that
I was in Taiwan.
Taiwan? I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I would go there a lot of. One of the main reasons I spent a month there was to just watch the dogs. And when I was younger, I would crawl in the dens and just
Wow.
stuff, just stuff because I'm interested in, and it's things that we don't have in
Right,
California anywhere, not the city.
right, right.
We don't have just feral dogs, and they actually have kind of what I think of as actual wild dogs there. They have native Taiwanese dogs,
Okay.
and then there are dogs that are so feral they're really wild. You can't get close to them.
Oh
Even
my.
I would stock up on them, while they're sleeping, like I was hunting. I'd try to tiptoe and hide, and you're about 100 yards away, and they run off.
Oh my. Oh my God.
But those were some of the most interesting of the dogs to
I
watch.
believe it. I believe it.
And that was one den that I really found kind of fascinating, how she would protect her puppies and teach her puppies to be afraid of people, and to just the whole thing. The whole watching her for like a month was a good experience.
I believe it. I believe it was an amazing experience.
So I think that we're just about out of time. I think that's going to pretty much do it. Is there any closing thoughts you wanted to leave us with?
I would like to offer one closing comment. For anyone who's interested, if you go to our campaign, which is at gofundme.com/puppy potty training, at this point until June 3rd, you can get one of the units, the base units, at cost, which is $159. So that's just until June 3rd. So anyone who's interested, we encourage you to go and reserve your unit, and happy training.
And when do you think those will be in production or delivered?
Actually, they'll be shipped out for delivery in September, this coming
great.
September.
Very nice.
So in time for the nasty weather.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for joining us, and I'm sure I will be talking with you in the future.
Thank you so much, Andrew.